Hey everybody, I just wanted to share with you a message I received today. It's quite short actually, and it is a continuation from the experience I had shared with you on my blog yesterday. The experience happened during my walk when I could experience um, an exchange, a conversation, and witness the beings around me, such as angels and ascended beings. And the message is that I have today is that, and this is what came, and I wanted to share with you really, is that the fact that we are multi-dimensional beings, as my name reminds us. What does it mean? And it's something that I invite you to ponder upon. Um, so perhaps it's just difficult to share, but what I wanted to say is that we are connected continuously to all the other dimensions, and you can actually be aware of the connection with the other dimensions. And the way I experienced this and what I was told today is that, you know, when you just have flashes and images and thoughts popping into your mind, and, you know, some of it might be memories, some of it is planning ahead, and some of it is just, you know, remembering a conversation, or if something, you had an argument with somebody, your emotional center will play part of the argument with somebody, you know, all over and over again. So that's quite different then from experiencing the other dimensions that we live in. So this is what I wanted to share with you today, really, is that, you know, while we are on Earth and in this physical body, we are also in the higher dimensions, and we can be aware of what is going on in the other dimensions, and we can be aware of the other dimensions at the same time as we are in a physical body. So this is quite extraordinary to actually witness it. Of course, we understand that intellectually or even instinctively or emotionally with our feelings, especially if we are in need of comfort or distress, or if we feel pain, or if we're afraid, we would feel the touch of our guardian angels talk to us, reassure us. And this is when we really get to witness that they are other beings around us, that they are other dimensions that interact with us, even down to our third dimensional physical body. And just wanted to encourage you to experience and witness the contact with the other dimensions, which is constant and permanent, and the way, the door to experiencing these other levels, these other dimensions of existence, is to actually experience your own multidimensionality, is to experience your own potential, your own levels and scales. If we can compare your life to musical scales, or to, say, music, yes. Imagine this, that perhaps there are as many dimensions as there are notes. Say if you take a piano and you have do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, do, and then it starts again. So imagine that you go through these dimensions as you would play the music, the notes on a piano. So the way you attune yourself and the way you can experience the different notes, these different vibrations, is to center your thoughts on your own self, on your own body. And it's not an ego or being selfish or self-serving when you do that, because when you focus on your own self, on your own body, this is where the life is, this is where the energy is, this is the sacred source of life that flows through your body. And when you are in contact with this flow of life, with source itself directly, which flows in your body and your cells, this is what moves your body. Okay, so when you experience that within yourself, you're actually in contact with source itself, okay, with your higher being self, your guides as well. And then when you come in contact with that source energy that flows within your body, when you can experience that and relate to your body, you can actually also relate to the other dimensions, and you can feel it. But if you are like most of light workers that are awakened, you can hear the other beings, you can see them, and it's like this 3D world is only part of the other scales, of the other dimensions. It's a bit like Russian dolls. It's a word within a word within a word within a word, but the physical body is only part of it. It is not the full pictures by any means. Unfortunately, our DNA has been broken down, and we cannot at the moment, most of us, unless we have been working for a lifetime perhaps, through spirituality, on our own DNA, on our own self, or else if you're psyche and you're just born with these capabilities and abilities, which most of us do, at least in the childhood, but we enter then this physical dance, and we break this contact with source when we grow up, and when education and parents, and there's a sort of conditioning, and it teaches the child to look through life through the eyes of an adult, and to break down the reality into what the head and the intellect can comprehend. But there is a higher, much higher, superior intelligence than the intellect, which lives in all of us, and that is source. That is what I'm talking about. So if you can connect with that, you will certainly have a major opening to everything that is around us. So people talk about ascension all the time. When will I ascend? When will the planet ascend? But we all know that we are already ascended. We are already in the other dimensions. You know, you just decided to go even lower into this very dense and hard physical density. But it doesn't mean that you are no longer connected to the other and higher levels of existence. So this is the message today, that, you know, things might look harsh on the planet with everything that you hear on the news. I don't need to remind you of that. But remember that this is not it. This is not the big picture. There are higher forces at play. And those higher forces play not only on our planet, but they play on the galactic level, yes, and on the cosmic level, universal forces, universal beings that are ascended. And they do come not only from this planet, but from many planets. And there is no such thing as an alien or as a foreign being, because we all come from source. So it doesn't matter if we're talking about Salusa, who's from Sirius originally, or it doesn't matter if we're talking about Archangel Michael, who's from Earth, I think, originally. All those beings have gone through a similar process, and they have reached a certain level of crystallization inside of them, which allow them to have a sort of level of knowledge and understanding and compassion for all life, no matter what the form, no matter what the planet. Yes, so there's no need to discriminate between races of people, races of being, races of what planets or what angel or archangel we're talking about, because we are all part of the one. So this is what's my message for today, just to be aware that the life is beautiful, and I know sometimes it does not feel that way, but I encourage you to pursue your own spirituality and develop your own awareness, because that will in turn lead you to experience the higher levels of consciousness and the other dimensions and the other beings who dwell in those other higher dimensions. So I encourage you once again to go within your body, to experience the life within of you, that life within you which is source and energy, and that is pure, that moves your body, that inhabits your cells. So come back to your body, come back to your spine, be aware of your breath. You don't need to change it, just be aware of what it is. Be aware of being a higher multidimensional being, experiencing life on earth now, but that's all it is. There is no need for fear, there is no need for panic. This dimensional in physicality is only another experience. When and if we leave this body, by choice or by accident or because due to illness, life will continue in the other higher dimensions that we live in. So really, there's no need for fear, there's no need to rush, there's no need for any of these. Life is beautiful, life will continue, life is everywhere in the universe. I love you all very much. Bye.